Welcome back to tonight's broadcast, A Place for Stories. I'm Sergio Dominguez, and tonight we'll continue reading my original novel, What Would I Do Without You? If you haven't listened to Chapter 9, Part 1, I recommend starting there before continuing, as this chapter picks up immediately where we left off. In the previous chapter, Chris received the heartbreaking news that his mother had passed away after a long battle with cancer. Isaac stood beside his friend through one of the most difficult days of his life, offering support when words alone weren't enough. Sometimes the hardest moments don't end when we leave the hospital. Sometimes they've only just begun. Let's continue their story. This is What Would I Do Without You, Chapter 9, Part 2. It's okay, Chris. I'm sure she understood. That was all I could think to say to give him some comfort. I don't even know if she heard me. Her eyes were closed, and the nurses had given her something so she could be comfortable. By this time, we were both sitting on the bed again. Here, eat, I told him as I reached for the taco. I'm not hungry, he answered in a low voice. You need to eat something, I insisted. He grabbed the taco from me as he shook his head with frustration. He took a quick bite and then drank a little of his soda. After a short pause, he looked at me and said, I've been such a dick to you. And here you are taking care of me. Since the first day we met, you've been cool with me, he said as he looked at me and grabbed my hand. I didn't know what to say to that or what to think. So I stood up from the bed and turned around so he would let go of my hand. Hey, so do you want to do something? I'm here all night. I quickly changed the subject. Nah, not really. I don't feel like doing much, he responded as he returned his gaze to the ground. So you're going to sleep over? Chris asked me with uncertainty, almost like he wanted to make sure I wasn't going to leave. Yeah, I already asked for permission. I told them about your mom, I said, looking in the opposite direction. For some unknown reason, I felt uncomfortable telling him that. They told me to give you their condolences, and if there is anything you or your dad need, to please let them know. I finally got the courage to look over at him as I said that. Yeah, okay, thanks. It got quiet again, and I wanted to keep him distracted, so I asked, where can I sleep? The room was small and kind of tight. Next to the bed, I spotted a little area on the floor that I could nestle into. Look, I can fit in that area, I said, pointing to a corner in the room. Is that okay with you? Are you crazy, Isaac? I'm not going to let you sleep on the floor. The bed is big enough. We can share it, he told me as he got up and started pulling back the covers. Okay, but I need to shower. I've been in these clothes all day. Do you have extra shorts and a shirt I can borrow? Yeah, help yourself. Check the second drawer, he said as he unfolded a blanket. All right, thanks. After I found what I needed, I headed for the bathroom. When I got back to the bedroom, I found Mr. Rodriguez standing at the foot of the bed. You ready for bed, son? He whispered to me. Yeah, I guess so. Where can I put the towel I used? I asked as I held it in my hand. I'll take it, he said as he reached over before walking out. Get some rest, and thanks again for your help, he whispered as he shut the door. No problem, Mr. Rodriguez. I looked over to the bed and could see that Chris was already asleep, so I thought. I folded up my clothes and put them on the floor in the corner. Was the shower okay? Chris startled me when I heard his voice. I thought you were asleep. I tried to be quiet, I told him in a low voice. No, I was awake. I just closed my eyes when I heard my dad walk into my room. Chris was facing the wall and his back was to me. I pulled up the sheets from my side of the bed and made myself comfortable. Why did you pretend to be asleep? I asked him as I reached over to the lamp on the nightstand and turned it off. Because I don't feel like talking to him, he said. I know he's going to ask me if I'm okay, and the truth is, I don't know. I don't know what I feel. I'm just numb. And in a split second, he started crying again. I turned over on my side and put my hand on his shoulder. It's okay. It's going to be okay, Chris. I'm here with you, and so is... I didn't get the chance to finish my sentence because suddenly Chris turned to face me and put his arms around me. Before I knew it, he was on top of me, kissing me. I didn't know what to do. Time froze, and so did I. What the fuck is happening? I thought to myself. I have to stop him. Putting my hands between us, I gently pushed him away. Chris, I quickly reached over to the lamp to turn it on. He gazed into my eyes. He looked so lost. He closed his eyes and hung his head, then rolled off of me. I lay there staring up at the ceiling, feeling very confused and not knowing what to do. This was just too much. We were lying next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, with a heavy silence hanging over us. "I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me. I shouldn't have done that," he said with a sincere and apologetic tone in his voice. "It's okay," I swallowed hard, still freaking out over what happened. "Don't worry about it. This will stay between you and me," I assured him as Aaron came into my mind. "See, this is what I mean. How can you be so nice after all the shit I put you through?" Chris raised his hands as he sat up in bed. "I mean, you could totally use that against me. And on top of that, you're not even pissed. I mean, do you ever get angry?" His voice was a little louder this time. Even though I noticed a little frustration in his voice, that comment actually made me laugh. "Yeah, I get pissed," I answered as I giggled a little. "I got mad every time you and your friends bullied Aaron. It really pissed me the fuck off because you know he doesn't like to fight. And you all took advantage of that. He was an easy target. And for what? What did you get out of it?" I asked him, and this time I raised my voice a little. He sat there without saying a word. All of a sudden, I heard a short laugh, and as he turned to look at me, he had a smile on his face. "What are you laughing at?" I asked him, feeling confused. "So, it's true then?" he asked with a hint of lightness in his voice. "Is what true? What are you talking about?" I asked him. "You and Aaron." He turned and looked at me. "You are in love with him, aren't you?" he said, still smiling. "What? What are you talking about?" "Come on, dude. I practically tried having sex with you right now. We have known each other for way too long for you to not get it. I know you, and I can read between the lines. You are into him, and I think he is into you too." "Really?" I asked. "You think so?" He snorted a laugh, and I asked, "What?" "Nothing. Just wish you could see your face." "Yeah, well, I can't, and I'm way too tired to get up and look in the mirror." "I need some sleep," I said, trying my hardest to deflect attention off of what had just transpired. At that point, I doubted I would be able to fall asleep because my heart was pumping at full force, my blood rushing straight into my head. "Yeah, I need to go to sleep too." "No, I don't even want tomorrow to get here," he sighed as he laid back and put his hand on mine and squeezed it tightly. "Thank you for staying with me and not judging me." It was my turn to pretend I was asleep because I didn't want Chris to try and kiss me again. I waited patiently and laid motionless until I was sure he was out. Chris came out to me tonight, I thought to myself. It's funny how life unfolds. At that point in my life, I never imagined Chris would turn out to be gay. Until that night, I had attributed his change to trying to fit in and be one of the guys. In actuality, he was trying to hide who he really was. After the kiss, part of me wanted to run out of the house and leave, but another part of me wanted to stay by his side. He needs a friend, I thought to myself. Despite everything that had happened the night before, I woke up shaken with the realization that my friend had lost his mother. I could not stop thinking about Chris and his dad. What was today going to bring them? What was the next step in their lives without a mother or a wife? I couldn't even conceive what I would do or how I would feel if my mother were gone. I lay there in disbelief of what had happened the day before. That was the first time I had experienced death in a cognizant way, and I became aware that time waits for no one. The next morning, I laid in Chris's bed trying not to wake him up. I was lost in my thoughts, anticipating the night coming around again and wondering if Chris would try to kiss me once more, when suddenly I remembered. Oh my God, I didn't call Aaron. Chris's head popped up. What? He asked groggily. I groaned in regret. I'm sorry I woke you up. I just remembered I was supposed to call Aaron last night. I completely forgot. I got up, grabbed my clothes, and went to the bathroom to change. When I came back to the bedroom, Chris was waiting for me with a glass of orange juice in hand. You want to eat something before you go? He offered up the glass to me. I shook my head. No, I'm good. I just need to get home, I told him as I tried to make the bed as quickly as possible. I'm sure he will be fine. The tone of his voice made me feel terribly selfish. Look, remember when I saw you at the mall and you told me about your mom? Yeah. So he saw me with you, and he saw that I had my hand on your back. He didn't know what was going on, but I think he got jealous. Really? Chris asked with a confused look on his face. He was surprised, but then added sadly, Tell him to calm down. There isn't anything to be jealous of, huh? He looked searchingly at me before quickly turning away. I understood what he was trying to find out, and suddenly, I was filled with anxiety. I didn't feel for him what I felt for Aaron. And I didn't want him to think I did because I had slept in his bed. I was thinking of what to tell him when he added, I can relate to him being jealous. He looked at me longingly again. Really, I was dumbfounded. I had no idea that Chris felt this way. I was even more shocked that he had acted so meaningly towards me in the past despite these feelings he was leading me to believe he had. I couldn't wrap my head around it, and his behavior was freaking me out. It seemed so inappropriate considering his mother had died the day before. Well, it wasn't really jealousy, more like he kind of doesn't like you or your group of friends, I told him with a shrug of my shoulder. He sat on the edge of his bed, his elbows resting on his knees. If you have to, let Aaron know that he won't have to worry about Roger anymore. He was caught stealing at the guest store in the mall. Then he was caught breaking into someone's house. It seems like he is going to one of those reform schools. I doubt that he will be coming back to our school. As for the other guys, I don't think they will bother him. Roger was the one that controlled everything. Without the king telling them what to do, they really won't have a reason to mess with him. I was both surprised and relieved, but then he added, I'm not going back either. I missed so much school last semester that I fell behind. My parents made arrangements for me to finish school at home. Next year, I will be going to the Christian Academy for my senior year. I am sure he could read the look on my face because before I could speak, he said, I don't think I can wrap my head around school, especially now. I need time, but school isn't willing to wait for me. I couldn't believe what Chris was telling me. I mean, I didn't care about Roger or his team of monkeys. To me, it was good riddance, but Chris not coming back to school. At that point, we were only a year and a half away from graduation. Are you sure about this? I can help you out, and I know once Aaron meets the real Chris, he will be fine with you and will want to help as well. He is very smart. My emotions started to get the better of me, and I started to feel almost desperate. Thanks for thinking of me, but I need time, and I didn't really like the school much anyways. Plus, this academy has a whole lot less students. I need fewer people around me, not more. I'm sorry to hear that. I wish you would stay, I told him as I put my hand on his shoulder. He nodded his head, then looked at the ground. I felt it was the right time to leave. Listen, I'm gonna go home and check in with my parents and call Aaron. Is it okay if I stop by later and check in on you? I asked him as I walked towards the door. Yeah, that would be fine, but don't go out of your way. I will be okay. He sounded so sad, so defeated. I felt terrible leaving. I know, but I would still like to. I'll see you later, I said as I turned to leave the room. As I pulled away from Chris's house, I looked back one last time. He was still standing there, watching. I waved, he waved back. Something about that moment stayed with me the entire drive home. Maybe it was because I knew he wasn't just leaving school. He was leaving behind an entire chapter of his life. A chapter filled with good memories, bad choices, heartbreak, and friendships that had changed him forever. I promised him I'd come back to check on him. At the time, I believe I would. Sometimes the promises we make come easily. Keeping them is another story. We'll continue Isaac's journey in chapter 10. Thank you for listening to What Would I Do Without You? If you've been enjoying Isaac and Aaron's story, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who enjoys heartfelt coming-of-age fiction. I'm Sergio Dominguez, and this has been tonight's broadcast, A Place for Stories. Until next time.